Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us on the fifth episode of Coffee Table Conversation. Coffee Table Conversation is based on the motto of collaborative approach. We believe that the future is about collaborating, sharing of knowledge, and helping each other to achieve individual and societal goals. And these conversations are medium to facilitate this. It's the 60th day of lockdown, and we are all awakening to a new world order which is in making. On one end, we see pent up anger against China from major economies. On the other, we see the oil dependent economies going through a massive downturn and may lead to political unrest. And in other parts of the world, we may see people questioning the political establishment. In our last conversation with Mr. Dedia, he had anticipated a third world war in making, and my belief, a second Cold War. Which one will happen, only time can tell us, and hence the global uncertainty. While all these uncertainties are in making, to train us on the Chanakyan leadership and management techniques and how we can apply them in the pandemic which we are currently battling is none other than Dr. Radhakrishnan Pillai. He's a best-selling author, a leadership guru, and as per me, an amazing human being. He has over 25 years of experience in leadership training and mentorship. He is more famously known as an author and has published over 14 books, which includes the critically acclaimed Corporate Chanakya, which is recommended by most management schools. He holds a PhD from Mumbai University, MA in Sanskrit, and is certified management consultant. He has carried out an extensive research in Kautilya Arthashastra from the Chinmay Institution Foundation, Kerala. Dr. Pillai is the director of SPM Foundation, founder director of Atma Darshan Private Limited, a spiritual tourism company, Chanakya Anavishki Private Limited, a leadership training and mentoring institute. He has been recently appointed as the deputy director of Chanakya International Institute of Leadership Studies in the Mumbai University. He has written over 200 articles for various journals and magazines and has given TED Talk on how to become rich. He has been awarded the prestigious Sardar Patel International Award in 2009 and Avishkar Chanakya Innovation Research in 2013 for his research and contribution in the field of management and industrial development. Recently, he was honored with the best by Lokmat National Education Leadership Award as the best professor in philosophy. He is rated among the 30 Indian management thinkers globally by Thinkers50.com. While a perception is created that Dr. Pillai only writes in the field of management, well, he surprised everyone with his book Chatur Chanakya for Children, which was an immediate success, and his only non-Chanakya book, How to Write Book and Make It a Bestseller, which gives you a deep dive on how he consistently ensured all his books are bestsellers. His other popular books are Chanakya 7 Secrets of Leadership, Chanakya in You, Katha Chanakya, Chanakya in Daily Life, Anavishki Inside Chanakya's Mind, Thus Spoke Chanakya, Chanakya and the Art of Getting Rich, Chanakya on Corporate Chanakya on Leadership, Corporate Chanakya on Management, Chanakya and Art of War, and Chanakya Niti. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us on this session and agreeing to doing this in such a short notice. It's such a privilege to have you here for sharing your knowledge and wisdom and insights into what would Chanakya be teaching us on leadership and management qualities. I hand over the floor to you, sir.
Thank you so much, Neil. Am I audible?
Yes, sir, you are.
Okay. So please do forgive me if there is some internet connectivity problem, because since morning there has been some issue. But please keep continuing and keep recording. So with that little bit of a disclaimer, there could be some internet problem. I like to start with your permission. Is that fine?
Yes, sir. Please.
Perfect. So first of all, thank you, Neil, for getting this organized. Thank you, Kavita, ma'am. And very important, it's like, when you call me up and you send a message on this particular program, it is like for me, apne ghar pe kya bole? Because I am part of Mumbai University. And, the topic that has been given to me is management and leadership. Both me and Kavita ma'am have been heading institutions which is connected to management and leadership. And the students are also practitioners of managers and leadership. So it became very smooth, So I said it's a no-brainer talk. Otherwise, you have to go out somewhere and, talk. You have to dress up very well. You have to prepare very well. So of course I'm prepared. So don't think that I'm taking it for granted. But the whole idea is that it's like fish in the water. So for me, first of all, speaking about Chanakya is very easy. Management and leadership is my area of research for so many years. And speaking to JBIMS students is like, part of Mumbai University. So thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. Otherwise, you always give importance to outsiders, you know. बाहर वाले को ज़्यादा आप celebrity status बनाते हो. So it's always a privilege to always keep coming to JBIMS and all the colleagues of mine at JBIMS, be it Srini sir or anybody, Chauhan sir, everyone. So it's like, you know, thank you so much. Okay, so friends, I don't want to start with what you already know. I want to start with probably what you don't know, because management is all about, you know, the next. It is not about the past only. But before I start about what I'm going to speak about, I'm actually going to share what most of the people know me for, okay? And they know me for this. So I'm sure everybody has seen this book. It's called Corporate Chanakya, and it says Successful Management the Chanakya Way. And also that's my first book, and this is my 15th book, okay? And that's called Chanakya Niti. So my journey has been from corporate Chanakya to Chanakya Niti. It is all about management and leadership in different formats. And Neil gave a complete you know, background of other books and all those things, and also written a book of how to write a book and make it a bestseller. So everything that I have written in the book, I'm not going to speak about, okay? So please refer to the books and continue reading that. But, you know, since all of us are management practitioners, academicians, and, you know, part of that field, I would like to actually talk about some of the principles of Chanakya that is relevant in today's world of management. And I'm not limiting it only to the corporate world. Okay, please understand this. The typical mindset when you say about management is only about corporates. So let me expand in saying that it's a book that can help you manage or lead any situation in any institution. So maybe some of you will go and join government organizations. Some of you may even aim to become part of, you know, maybe some organizations like the armed forces. In fact, I know at JBIMS we have certain people coming from the Indian Navy also. So this kind of a management that is going to be spoken about, or what Chanakya spoke about, is very, 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 very profound. And I remember when Corporate Chanakya was launched in Mumbai University. Yes, this book was launched in Mumbai University on the 15th of August 2010. That's our Independence Day. And we had one of my dear friends, Dr. Ajit Ranade, who is the chief economist of the Aditya Birla Group. Some of you must have heard about him also. He writes a lot. He's a very profound economist. So he had come to release the book in Mumbai University. We had Rajan Velukar sir as the vice chancellor then. It was more than 350 CEOs, jam-packed audience. He said something about Chanakya's wisdom of management. He said, Chanakya's wisdom of management and leadership is not ancient. It is eternal. Okay, it is not ancient, it is eternal. And that was a very powerful statement. What it talks about the process and the systems of management, which are very important, but also talks about, you know, the principles of management and the attitude of a leader. Okay, attitude of a leader, and that never changes with time. Yes, my dear friends, it never changes with time. My dear friends, a lot of things can get upgraded, and like, you know, we have version 1 and version 2. So your iPhone maybe after a few years will get upgraded. So technology will get upgraded, but there is something about leadership that is always constant, yet also ready for change. Okay, also ready for change. So Chanakya's management, if you look at it, is also about that constant, and of course you have to upgrade it also. So my contribution in the field of the management is take those principles which is relevant so many centuries ago, but also apply it in the current context. So let me tell you about old and new type of management, and everybody has to be aware of this. Okay, we had a very interesting discussion in our university. So I had this institution called Chanakya International Institute of Leadership Studies, and Kavita ma'am has been really supporting and guiding us, you know, to shape up the institution. It's a baby institution, hardly 4 years old. So we were having a debate about leadership, and one very interesting question that came up for the debate of the students was, if Shivaji Maharaj, okay, a great leader, okay, if he were to come and lead today, maybe in 2020, okay, will he be successful? Very thought-provoking. Okay? So Shivaji Maharaj or any great leader, you take the example, who has been very successful as a leader in the past, maybe 200, 300 years ago, if he were to come in this particular generation and lead, will he be successful? So we had a lot of debate and discussions, and the answer was something very interesting. It says yes and no in some way. So what does the yes mean? See, there are some softer skills of leadership which never changes with time. But there are some things which leadership should adapt to. For example, if Shivaji comes back, I think those leadership qualities is very, very important to inspire people, the ability to connect, give them a higher vision, team leadership, that every leader, irrespective of whichever generation he or she has to have. But if Shivaji were to come back and maybe fight a war, he requires more tools and techniques now. Because, maybe that was a sword generation and a cannon generation. But today, it could be technology. So maybe Shivaji will adapt himself as a good leader to understand that today's war has to be more at a different space. Maybe it's a digital space. Maybe he'll require more, aeroplanes and fighter planes, and maybe nuclear bombs, as they call it. So, my dear friends, when you look at Chanakya, please understand this. There are a lot of things about Chanakya that we need to understand, which is relevant today also. But let me also tell you the other side of it. Don't get stuck up with the past only. You have to be the Chanakya of your organization. You have to adapt to the changes. And this is a perfect system right now, where, because of the coronavirus problem, because of the lockdown problem, everybody is going through something called as business process reengineering. Yes, my dear friends, a lot of businesses will go through not just shift, but they will go through transformation. Some of the businesses you have seen also are shutting down, okay? And there are some businesses which say that it doesn't matter, we'll upgrade ourselves. So before I start speaking on Chanakya, because this is a coffee discussion, right? So it's a coffee table discussion. I will get my cup of coffee later on, but I can already see Neil sipping a cup of coffee. Okay, so before I get into the real topic of Chanakya, because we're talking about management of situations, okay, and leadership, you must have recently tracked the corporate world and what's coming in the newspaper. There are three types of people, especially business leaders. Number one, who looked at this situation very negatively, okay? So what they're doing, startups especially, let's shut down the business. So they're downsizing people, they're not able to pay salaries. So it's like the negative side of same situation, okay? परिस्थिति वही है, लेकिन लोगों की मनस्थिति देखिए. So the first मनस्थिति is that everything is bad. So no money, no cash flow, shut down the business, let people go away, downsize, give pink slips. That is also reality. The second is, it doesn't matter, we'll pay salaries. Okay. So we are able to manage it for the next 2 or 3 or 6 months, whatever. So we will continue, wait for the coronavirus to, settle down a little bit, let the problem get solved, and we'll back into business. So they're not downsizing people. Okay. So they're saying that difficult times, we'll maintain it. But do you know about the third category? Very interesting category. They actually have given increments and promotions and incentives in lockdowns. My dear friends, that's true. The cases may be small, but I have started seeing that there are a lot of people are doing it. And a very popular example that came in the newspapers or in the media is Asian Paints. I don't know if you have actually read about it. Please do Google it, search it. Same situation, okay? Same situation. The managing director of Asian Paints says, this is the best time to motivate my employees. So when you have a cash flow problem, don't you think they have cash flow problems? Of course. But look at the manasthiti of a leader. Paristhiti is the same. Okay, paristhiti is same for everybody. The business has got affected. For the government also, there is no cash flow. There is no taxes coming in, no GST, nothing, right? But look at how a leader handles it. So one leader says, Choro, paristhiti bahut kharab hai, downsize. That's his manasthiti. Second situation, that will maintain it. But the other says, this is the right time to inspire people. And Asian Paints, and I was trying to read into details, I realized basically he's got an out-of-the-box thinking. Probably that managing director, he says, I read the whole article in detail. He's a managing director, okay? He takes an approval from the board. So he cannot take a decision for himself. And he says, my company is already debt-free. So it's not like, it's under some loans or have to, answerable to somebody else. So as a managing director, as a leader, he has to report to the board. No doubt about it. Like how in Mumbai University, we have a board of studies, and of course we have a the management council. So everybody is there who has to take certain decisions after approvals. Manage that is new employees, people. So what does it teach us? It is not the situation outside. It is the way you handle the situation inside that makes you a great leader or a sad leader. Another multinational example, okay? I give you an Indian example, that is Asian Paints. Are you aware of Amazon, how they are looked at it? Amazon actually has declared around a month ago, it's not a new story, okay, that they're going to actually take 1 lakh new employees for delivering, in America. In India, yesterday in the paper, they're actually going to employ 50,000 people. Okay. Now you may say very easily, oh, it's okay. It's an online business. It's a platform. So, you require delivery people. It is not just about the business model. It's about how you look at the situation And of course, there is a risk involved, But the same online platform, I also have seen people downsizing. So understand that online is also hiring, and they're seeing big numbers like 50,000. They are more futuristic. But the reality is that even Asian Paints is doing it. And I can tell you there are hundreds of small companies that's doing it. So the first situation to handle is the way you keep your mindset clear. So clarity of thought. So friends, what do we learn from Chanakya about leadership and management? The first lesson about leadership is that the leader decides to spoil the organization or build the organization. Both types exist, okay? So leader has to have certain qualities to build the organization, not spoil the organization. So he is talking about an effective leader. Chanakya was the guru of Chandragupta Maurya. He was not a king, he was a king maker. So he knew the theories of how to actually bring up a great leader and how to guide a leader. So what I'm going to talk about from the Arthashastra of Kautilya, which has got 6,000 sutras on leadership, I'm going to pick up a few points about leadership and management. And I'm sure all of you will easily understand this. So what he says is that there are 37 qualities of a leader. 37. And of course, I can't take a full lecture right now, but I'll give you 4 or 5 key points what Chanakya says a leader should have. And these are base minimum, okay? The first quality is strategic thinking. Okay, the first quality is called strategic thinking. A leader, when he's sitting on top, okay, he has to look at strategic thinking. What's going to happen? Thinking is one part of it. Strategic thinking is like, can we look at this something differently? And this is called as Anvikshiki in the Arthashastra. I know for many of you who are listening, it may be a new word for you, but it is a very common word in ancient Indian literature. Okay, it was a very important subject. It is called Prathama Vidya for Rajas. So Chanakya is teaching Raja Vidya. Okay, remember Chanakya is teaching Raja Vidya. And the first thing he says, Prathama Vidya is Anvikshiki. I started doing a lot of research and all. So there are many translations. Like Anvikshiki is also called as philosophy. I did my PhD under Dr. Shubhada Joshi, madam, who was the head of philosophy department, So a leader should have a base of philosophy. Okay, even before you teach them reading, writing, and arithmetics, So reading, writing, and arithmetics, 3 R's is what education system is all about. But Chanakya said, children should be trained how to think correctly. So the philosophical base of thinking. In the Greek culture or the Western world, they say, philosopher king. Socrates spoke about it a lot, the philosopher king. So our concept of a leader is Raja Rishi. Remember, a Raja, but also a Rishi. And we should know what is thinking, strategic thinking. And that's what I say, it is called as Anvikshiki. What is Anvikshiki? Let me go into a little bit of a Sanskrit. It is a root word which talks about Anvekshan, the ability to investigate. Okay, the ability to investigate a problem or a situation or a challenge. If a king or a leader doesn't have that ability to investigate, logically inquire into a situation, he may take bad decisions. Very important. So Chanakya teaches strategic thinking and right way of taking decisions. Anvikshiki. Many people may not know that Kendriya Anvekshan Bureau, that is CBI, Central Bureau of Investigation, does that. So of course, for them, the investigation is more into the frauds and what has happened. But really speaking, that's a very important element in leadership. The ability to inquire and find out the root cause of the problem. Okay, and there is a methodology for that also. So if you're not able to investigate, you'll not be able to take the right decisions. And what is the process? In the Arthashastra, Anvikshiki consists of 3 things. It is called Sankhya, Yoga, and Lokayata. Again, these are all great Indian philosophies. So when you're thinking Anvikshiki, you should know what is Sankhya, Yoga, and Lokayata. It's a combination of all the 3. And I have a modern interpretation to it. So if you look at Anvikshiki, what is the process? The first is called Sankhya. Of course, Sankhya is a philosophy by itself. It comes in the Bhagavad Gita as Sankhya Yoga in chapter 2. But the original root comes in Mahabharata, which says Sankhya means Sankhya. That means numbers. Okay. So think about it. A leader has to apply Anvikshiki. The first thing he has to do, or she has to do, is look at statistics, data. All of you understood today, everything is a data-driven world, isn't it? So everything is about numbers. So first take into account the numbers. And numbers always talks facts, isn't it? So in management, it is said, what is not measurable is not achievable. Okay, what is not measurable, it is not achievable. So if you have a new CEO coming into a company, so many of you who are students and all, you get an appointed. But remember one thing, your contribution is always measured before and after you. Isn't it true? So you know, the turnover of the company was 100 crores. Okay? That is not your contribution. Your contribution is to start from 100, take it to 200. Okay, so that's a measurable sankhya. But imagine from 100 crore you bring down the company to 50 crore. What a combination contribution. Okay? So what is important is that strategic thinking always starts with numbers. So if you have an understanding of data analysis, you actually get into strategic thinking. Let me tell you now this coronavirus problem. So you know everybody's afraid. My goodness, my goodness. It's a real fact that I think world over it's crossed 50 lakh people. 50 lakh people. I mean, dangerous. And I don't know if you know about this. In Brazil, okay, which is I think the second highest state where our country where it's affected, ministers are resigning. Ministers are resigning. Just imagine, first of all, the government is struggling. It is not only Brazil or America or India's problem. And there is so much pressure from the people that even the prime minister or the president even asked. Already the ministers have started resigning. So think about it. And then I said, okay, what is the situation in India? If I were to look at as a leader, okay, if a prime minister or a president or a chief minister or an education or maybe a health minister looks at it, said, wait, anvikshiki is about less. Okay, the situation is true. परिस्थिति बहुत गंभीर है, लेकिन मनस्थिति को पहले ठीक करो, anvikshiki यूज करो. क्या है वो? पहले संख्या, show me the data, and then yoga. Yoga means calmly and quietly look at the numbers. So sankhya ke sath yoga, calm, quiet. Yoga is not just exercise, it's also the state of mind. Then comes sankhya yoga lokayata. Lokayata means worldly wise. You have to understand, you cannot be philosophical only, okay? You have to look at saying that, does it actually affect the society? Does it actually affect the society? So look at the coronavirus problem. Is it affecting the society? Lokame? Yes. It's affecting everyone. The shutdowns are there. The lockdowns are there. It's an economic problem. The migrants are there. So I said, okay, I'm going to apply Anvikshiki in this situation. First, show me the data. How many people? 1 lakh people. Good. And if you know data analysis with a cool mind, yoga, and looking at facts and figures, what is happening in the world, you'll be surprised. You will keep your head above your heart. The problem with a lot of leaders is that they take emotional decisions rather than logical decisions. Isn't it true? So emotions is important. Please understand that, a leader cannot be unemotional. That's why, we say EQ is also important, your emotional quotient. But understand, you can have emotions, but you have to take unemotional decisions, logical decisions. So when you look at the state, and today, being in the management field and all, I also keep reading what's happening. And today in the morning, I got a very interesting insight. They said, if you look at 1 lakh people, okay, how much is our population? 130 crore people. Okay. So you say, okay, 130 crore people, 1 lakh. So we cannot say, 1 lakh is a good number compared to 130. But it has not affected everybody. So it's affected a major part of the society. So we say 1 lakh. That is also a bad number. But comparing to 130 crore people, 1 lakh is a small number. Then you go into further analysis with a cool mind, data analysis, statistical analysis. And you say, okay, if 1 lakh people, how many in how many states? And you'd be surprised to know that actually the maximum numbers are in 5 states only. So you calm down a little bit. Okay. See how the processing happens. Okay. So from 1 lakh, worldwide, it's a big number. And we are 1 lakh. So 50 lakh, mein 1 lakh hai. 130 crore mein 1 lakh hai. Then you come down, out of 28 states and union territories put together, 5 major states. Okay. Among that 5 major states, which are the ones? Kerala, Maharashtra, UP, all those things. Okay. Now if I'm in Maharashtra, okay. Now if I'm in Maharashtra, okay. Now get me the further details of numbers. Sankhya or leke aao. Okay. Where it is got affected maximum? Mumbai. Okay. How much? 25,000 people in Mumbai. Okay. So almost like 25%, maybe everything put together. 40,000 in Maharashtra, out of which 25,000 in Mumbai. Okay. Now again you come down, and say, okay, mere area mein kitna? Then again it's divided into green zone, red zone, everything. Now did you see that? Now you have to take a decision first for Maharashtra and in Mumbai, and maybe zone wise. So what is important? This is called as root cause analysis. Now the same problem can be looked at from a statistical angle, but also from the medical angle. Isn't it true? So now the medical fraternity is doing the testing and experimenting to find out the health problem solution. But if a leader is not in that health department right now, then you say, what should we do? Now you say 5 states. Okay, the prime minister says, okay, 5 states may important. But you say, no, there's another problem coming in West Bengal and Orissa. I need to handle that also. Okay. So coming back, why am I telling my dear friends? Chanakya says, first investigate with statistics. That is a right process of strategic thinking. Investigating with statistics with a calm mind and also looking at the benefit and the loss of people. That is called as strategic thinking. Very interesting, right? So as all of you highly qualified people, one of the major things you should master is numbers. Now, I'm not telling you to be a statistician with your PhD or, memory skills of numbers. Please understand, the ability to mental calculation is only one skill. But the output of that calculation is the basis of taking decisions. Olden days, I remember when we were school days, we had this great lady. Her name was Shakuntala Devi. She was considered as a superhuman because she could calculate faster than the computer. Today we say, if you can faster with the computer, then actually you are putting your skills in the wrong place. Because a computer or a mobile can actually do it better than you, faster than you. You put your brain into something better. So the output of statistics is the starting point of a leader. Creating statistics is not leadership quality. That is only one of the things. But number crunching and then taking decisions on the numbers is a very important thing. And this I learned from the Gujarati Marwadi communities. They may not be highly educated. Okay, they have chartered accountants working for them, isn't it? But you know what they're good at? They know understanding. They don't understand about bookkeeping and the laws and the compliance. They give it to the chartered accountant. So the actual number person is the chartered accountant, isn't it true? But what they do is that from the numbers, they take the decisions forward. So where an accountant ends, the strategist begins. Leadership quality, okay? And Chanakya says this, okay? So accounting is a very important process of record keeping and all. But accountant से जो balance sheet निकलता है, उधर से आपका statistics analysis शुरू होता है. And let me tell you, if you know how to analyze a balance sheet, you can get various different insights. Okay, it's not an accounting statement alone. It's a very strategic thing. वो कुंडली में से आप बहुत कुछ निकाल सकते हो. Okay, the first leadership quality, and this we see in Chanakya's times also. If you have to run a kingdom, you should know the numbers correctly, isn't it? Chanakya was the first person in human history to actually have the population count first. Okay, so what we call census. Every 10 years, India does it, and globally also. मेरे को अगर प्रजा को लीड करना है, okay, मेरे को अगर प्रजा को लीड करना है, तो कितना प्रजा है ये तो समझना पड़ेगा. So if you are a leader, you should know numbers. कि हमारे पास employees कितने हैं, हमारा turnover कितना है. Understand this? So without census, you can't even know what the population is. And then you can put it into various demographics, the male and the female ratio, the educated and the uneducated, age group wise. But the basic thing is kitne numbers. But Chanakya starts saying that, the population input lene ke baad, you actually design a kingdom. So when you're designing a country like Singapore, okay, and when you're designing a country like India, you can't design with the same model. Because Singapore is almost like the size of Bombay city. And India is, such a big land. So you can learn from Singapore, no doubt about it. But the statistics of Singapore, the education level of Singapore, the most important, the population of Singapore is very different from the population of India. Okay. The first quality I want to tell you is that please be very clear on number crunching. Start with accounting of number, no doubts about it. But number crunching is a very important. That's called strategic thinking, Anvikshiki. And as I told you, it's a combination of Sankhya, Yoga, and Lokayatra. The second quality of a leader, which is very important, is intelligent and dynamic. So after understanding the root cause of the problem, you're intelligent. Okay. So that's how, your management skills get developed, because when you lead a lot of case studies and things like that, you read it, your theoretical base becomes very strong. So you're intelligent. Your IQ level goes up. But Chanakya says, IQ level and padaku enough nahi hai. Dynamic bhi hona chahiye. Plan out your work and work out your plan. Okay. So a leader should have the quality of execution. Leadership have a quality of execution, and that's where I would like to warn all the students over here. Please understand, you may get your first job because of your academic credentials. First class, first gold medalist. Yeah, congratulations. But when you go to the real corporate world, the situations are very different. So your MBA from Jamnalal Bajaj Institute is a very good starting point. Congratulations. Because right from getting an entry point, you have gone through a lot of competitive exam. You are already the best, among the best in the country. Congratulations. And you may pass out as the best student of JBIMS also. But the challenges in the real world are different. And this is where probably we'll have to understand the practical leadership is very different. Okay. So when you go over there, your theory has to meet practice. That's why you have to understand the skill of execution. I remember there's a very famous director called as Priyadarshan. I'm sure you also heard about him. Priyadarshan made a lot of Malayalam movies, but he's also making Hindi movies, like I think Hera Fairy and a lot of movies. So Priyadarshan actually was saying in one of the interviews, and I was listening to him. So he said, I did an MBA. Okay, so Priyadarshan is an MBA of that generation, very highly qualified guy. So I did an MBA and I started making movies. But I realized kind of an MBA and the accounting doesn't work in the film industry. Because यहाँ पे एक अलग type का MBA लगता है. So you may be qualified, but you have to understand when you go to a specific industry, the realities of the industry are very different. Okay, so you have to understand called practical economics. Okay, one is theoretical, the compliance, the law. So that's why, even in the management field, there are two things. One is called the general management and one is called MIS. So there is management accounting versus financial accounting, isn't it? So financial accounting is more for the compliance and giving to the government. And for specific for me to take a decision, very specific for me. So coming back, you should have this quality of dynamism also. You have to be very practical. The third quality of a leader, very interesting, he says is called Utsaha Vardaka. What is the meaning of Utsaha Vardaka? The ability to inspire others. Okay, that's where the leadership role comes in. If you're a very lazy guy sitting and saying, okay, jo hoga dekha jayega, the prime minister will decide to give us some stimulus package. Ho gaya kalyan. The prime minister, the president, the finance minister have better things to do rather than worrying about your company alone. So yes, you should study that to understand how much benefit you can take. But you have to take care of your organization. So don't be dependent on somebody else. Luckily in India, we don't depend too much on the government. Ours is more a family value system, is it? So हम लोग अपने घर में से आधा problem solve कर लेते हैं. So instead of going to the banks, the traditional businessmen actually take loans from that community. The Marwadi businessmen, the Gujarati businessmen know this, Our basic economic model was chit funds. Okay, of course, there was some sad part of money, people used to siphon the money. That's a different thing. But we had a community economics, not depending on the government. So what is the quality of a leader? Utsaha Vardaka. You have to inspire your people. Look at all great leaders, be it Mahatma Gandhi, be it Ambedkar, be it, Lokmanya Gangadhar Tilak, and across the globe, maybe Abraham Lincoln or Napoleon. That is one common quality. That those people could inspire people to actually follow their vision. So if you don't have a vision, you are a leadership with a position, okay? So you may become a CEO of a company, you may become a managing director, but no. You should be able to give a new vision to the organization. And it's the vision that inspires people. A lot of people initially join the companies because of the packages, Kitna package mila? 5 lakh, 10 lakh, 20 lakhs, 1 crore, whatever, But remember one thing, package doesn't keep you inspired forever. But the vision of the organization that keeps you inspired. Of course, you have a great package with a great visionary company, then, there'll be hardly any attrition. And that's what actually I have understood from the study of something called as Great Places to Work. I don't know if you studied this, please study it. It's a very interesting study that every year is carried out, or Great Places to Work. And they have parameters, and they have this top world 10 companies about, this is actually 360-degree evaluation. Right from, looking at the employee, the chairman, and also the people of the employees. So finally they say this is a great place to work. And you'd be surprised of the top 10 best companies in the world, okay, top best companies in the world, which are considered as great places to work. One of them is an Indian company. Okay, after all, it doesn't come in the number 1. I think it comes at number 8 or 9. It is TCS. Number 1 is, I think, Google. And I think number 2 is YouTube and things like that, So it's more about the millennial generation. And what are the parameters? The study, what makes the employees very happy to work in these companies. And you'd be surprised that exactly what people are talking will be the new order after the coronavirus problem is over. So these things are, number 1 is that I need to have flexible working hours. So if I'm working in a company with flexible working hours, it's a great place for me to work. Second is a fat salary, isn't it? So everybody likes salaries. And one very interesting find is I want free food. I was quite surprised. Free food. But do you know, employees feel that if I come to an office, I don't have to worry about carrying my dabba. I don't want to, trouble my mother. And the local train, I don't want to actually carry that dabba and have a leak of the bhaji inside my bag. And you'd be surprised, it's common. If you look at the IT culture, food is a part of the employee's expense. It is not something that you get, but it will be subsidized or something like that. When I look at it saying that these great companies are also inspiring companies. If you look at the creativity in these companies, if you look at Google, and let me tell you, the productivity level is very different. So they give you targets, very high targets, but they also give the creativity space. So the one common line is that sometimes companies don't pay as high as industry standards. For example, TCS is not a very high pay master. It is not. If you compare the other people in the industry, they are also good, but they're not the best. But still, they are rated as among the world's best place to come because they believe that somewhere the vision of the organization connects to us. So when I'm working with a Google, okay, I get this opportunity to actually feed a part of the change in the world. So I'm contributing for a larger purpose. This is what Chanakya said, Utsaha Vardhaka. Can you give them a vision that is bigger than life? And that's what people are wanting for. They want to join organizations. Of course, that can give them free food, flexible working hours, fat packages. But only this cannot sustain you. What is important is to have a great vision. So Chanakya says to Chandragupta Maurya that please have a vision of being the world best. And the word that comes in is called Vijigishu. What is the meaning of Vijigishu? Dunya mein number one banna hai. Vijayata of the Vishwa, Vijigishu. It comes in the Artha Shastra. And let me tell you, it is not about conquering. Huh? If you're a multinational company, you don't have to conquer. Maybe you can take the route of mergers and acquisition. But what is wrong in having a vision of being number one in the world? Nothing wrong. For example, the cricketing World Cup in 1980, even money Cup and came to us. But then no, we'll become world number one. They have set the standard, we'll continue. Today we are not only world standards in winning the World Cup or IPL, we are world number one as far as finance is concerned. Okay, please understand the India controls the cricketing world. So all the financial models have come to India. In fact, I remember Professor Ratnakar Shetty. You know, he was the administrator of BCCI. He was there in our Mumbai University. He was giving a lecture. He said, you know, can you believe that they're now giving a contract for somebody who plays for the national team? BCCI gives a contract of 7 crores per year. 7 crores per year for every player who's playing for the national cricket team. And somebody must have run, you know, Mahendra Singh Dhoni did not get that contract and all those things. But think about it. What kind of finance are we talking about? So what is important? Chanakya says, be the number one in the world, not only as a position, but also through the model of Artha Vyavastha, Artha Shastra. In fact, you know, that is why Chanakya says, if you're not getting the economic model right, then you're not got it right. A country is successful when it is financially right. Isn't it true? So make your organization financially right along with a big vision. The vision is to become number one, but also make it financially stable. In fact, Chanakya says that, you know, the kosha, the treasury should not be full. It should be overflowing. So if your target is 100 crores, don't achieve 100 crores, make 150 crores. Or 50 crore next coronavirus or a new problem, give that to others as an insight. Understand this. So Utsaha Varga also has to be supported financially. Very, very important quality of a leader, Utsaha Vardhaka. Now I'll give you 2 more qualities about leadership of Chanakya. One very important quality is called Vriddha Sanyogaha. Vriddha Sanyogaha. What does Vriddha Sanyogaha mean? You know, every leader should be in touch with the elders or experts. Vriddha means elders, experienced people. A leader should be surrounded by experts who are better than him. In fact, Chanakya was a teacher, and Chandragupta Maurya became a great king because he was guided by his teacher, that is Chanakya. Chandragupta Chanakya, a teacher was the Chandragupta's advice is called leadership coach, CEO coach. It's all there, you know, it's all nice jargons. In India, even a Shivaji requires guidance from somebody like a Ramdas Swami or somebody like that, you know, maybe his ministers. So you should be surrounded by advisors. So what he says is that you as a leader, will have to take very, very tough decisions. But don't take the decisions alone. Take the advice of elders and experts with you. And Chanakya says in the Artha Shastra, the more experts you have advising you, the better your decisions will be. Okay. So decision making is never a one-man show process. It is not the one person sitting on the top, maybe a director, a managing director, or a chairman who decides. whenever he or she has a problem, he will call up maybe his friends or his advisor कि आपको क्या लगता है. Okay, so even part of the Mumbai University, Kavita ma'am has been giving me so many tips. All my friends, HODs of various departments, क्योंकि एक order आ जाता है government का, वो क्या करे? Everybody is in the problem. Call up each other. So it's Vriddha Sanyoga for us. So JBIMS, it's a fantastic brand. It's got that maturity. It has seen a lot of leaders coming out and being successful in the industry. And then we say, okay, JBIMS, such a great institution, Chanakya Institute, small institution, but I can take experience from JBIMS. So in the same way, friends, when you become leaders, please be in touch with your teachers. The teachers require the students after they pass out more. Please mark my words. So don't think JBIMS, I'm an alumni. I will come during the alumni meet and maybe do some webinars and maybe give some lectures and go. Oh, that is minimum. Okay, so alumni meet coming back is minimum. But Chanakya as a leader, when he comes to his Gurukul, okay, don't think that he's contributing. He's getting more. Because don't underestimate the guru sitting over there is outdated. He's also updated. In fact, the guru can be more updated than you. So when you now speak to maybe one of your professors, when you come back, you may be a batch which is 10 years old. But when you come back and say, my dear goodness, they're more updated than me. And he may give you or she may give you a breakthrough idea, a solution to your problem. And I'll tell you something very real. I was in IIT Bombay and they have the School of Management. And I remember, I don't remember, it's a lady who actually was the first founding director. And they had an alumni meet almost after 10 years and everybody came in. And there was this guy who came, he founded his own company and all. He came in and he was discussing. And he generally in a very casual thing told madam, ki madam, aajkal mere company mein ye chal raha hai. So remember, he's a 10-year-old alumni discussing an alumni meet with that director who founded the institute. She's also a professor there. So she just passed on something. Aisa kar lo and all those things. And after the alumni evening meet, they went back. After 2 days, says, madam, thank you so much. Kya ho gaya? Bolte hai, last 6 months we've been struggling with a problem. And that day when I came to meet you, you just gave me an idea and that solved our problem. And you know what that madam said? Acha, tumko kya lagta hai? Hum log practical nahi hai kya? So the idea is basically sometimes we consider professors and all those things, wo theory mein baat karte hai. Please understand this. They get their theory from real experts, from real practices. And you know what this person offered her? That is something more interesting. Okay, this person told her, madam, I want you to be a part of my board, to be on our advisory committee. And you have to understand, this is what Chanakya Chandragupta combination is. Chanakya will make Chandragupta Maurya. That's the responsibility of a teacher, to create the leaders. But afterward, they will guide the students also. But the reality is that how many of the students actually come after 10 years, not during a startup phase, because startup phase is only ideation. And you actually eat the time of the professor. Nothing wrong. We'll guide you in startup also. But after you are a matured company, okay, 10 years old company and you're struggling with a problem, you come back and say, please be a part of our advisory board. Believe me, you will understand the value of a teacher more. Teacher is not just about giving theoretical ideas. Teacher will give you ideas which comes out of practical implementation. So, Vriddha Sanyoga. The last point which I'd like to make is ever learning, desirous of learning. With all qualities of leader. So today we call about continuous learning, ever learning, Upgrad. There's a software, some of you must have seen, Ronnie Screwvala has made his company called Upgrad. And the target audience is midlife professionals. Initially, our education system, even today, education system is an examination system, isn't it true? So it's all about competition. And then after the examination, you pass, you get a degree and you get a job. Over. Education ka kaam khatam. Chanakya says no. Education is continuous forever. So what is important is that initially it was to get a job. Today you have to study to maintain your jobs. Okay, please understand this. Initially education was to get a job. Placement, everything is placement. But you'd be surprised, education is actually continuous. After you get the job also, you have to be continuous education. So I have written this in my book. I think it was Thus Spoke Chanakya or some of my book. And there I wrote, leadership and leadership education is like running on a treadmill. You seen a treadmill? The moment you stop, you'll fall off. So if you're in leadership position, you have to keep running. So you have to keep educating yourself just to be in that place. There is no moment, there is no forward. Usi jagah mein rehne ke liye, to maintain your job, you have to study. To maintain your leadership, you have to study. Of course, you don't don't have to come back to a formal education, but you can read reports, reviews, attend some seminars, programs, and sometimes you can actually organize some of these leadership management programs in your own company. In fact, one of the things that Chanakya says is that the king himself should be desirous of training, but the king also should be desirous of training others. Okay, others. Uska matlab kya hai ki you should also make it a learning organization. A lot of people don't believe in training their subordinates. Why? Because अगर वो ज़्यादा पढ़ लिख गया तो मेरा company छोड़ के जाएगा. So a lot of people don't like to give training budgets to their company and their employees. In fact, there is a very good HR friend of mine. He said something nicely. He said, the question is not whether you train them and they leave. The question is if you don't train them and they stay. So not training is not a choice, because you'll have stupid guys waiting for you to decide what is the future of the company. Training. Thank you so much. So I was just telling you about training. So one of the qualities of a leader is to believe in continuous training. And I was telling you, a lot of people don't believe in, number one, training themselves. And the second is training the organization. And I'll just give you an example, about what if you don't train and then you have to keep an organization. I will talk self. He was a director of Maharaj, and I actually wrote a book with him called the Chanakya Secrets of Leadership. Attending, enrolled with paying the fees and all those things for learning about financial frauds. So think about it, person who actually got retired is now paying fees and attending something on financial technology. The reason being, he says that policing also now has to is at this age also continuing learning. So look at it, he's not an officer. Okay, he's retired from, but the interesting part is continuously learning. So please understand this. If you want to be a leader, you are having the quality of continuous learning, and vice versa is also true. If you are continuously learning, that means it is a leadership quality. Okay, so I would just tell you and sum up this leadership, and given the next 10-15 minutes, I'll talk about management. So leadership is about having a vision. It is about vriddha sanyogaha. It is taking advices from others, anvikshiki. It is desirous of training, and most important, it's about execution and getting the desired results. Now, coming back to what Chanakya spoke about management. Okay. Now, according to Chanakya, there are so many sutras, and the whole book of Arthashastra is on management. Yet, I would like to give you 5 takeaways. 5 takeaways of what Chanakya says a manager, or in his words, an amatya should know. Amatya is like a minister, who actually runs the whole country. So sometimes the king's men are more powerful than the king. So the Mantri Parishad, if you look at the health minister or the finance minister or the defense minister, they are the real people who are, the real leaders. They may be number 2, but they are the ones who run the whole show. So today, if you look at the corporate world, we call the CXOs. So of course, the chairman will be big, but the CXO, the CEO, the CFO, all these are also leaders. So they have to manage. The leader is about vision, about taking the organization forward, but management is also about nuts and bolts. So coming back, there are 5 things that Chanakya says a manager should have. The first one, the first quality of a manager is the ability, please note carefully, the ability to start some work. Okay. So you have to take initiatives. So starting of undertakings is the first step to management. So suppose, my dear friends, you pass out and go and attend a particular company. You get a job in any particular fresh graduate would join a company. You don't wait for only people to instruct you what to do. You can create a project plan or a business proposal. So what is important is that the quality of taking initiatives is a very important manager's quality. The first quality to take initiatives. But please understand, it is not just about, presenting a plan. There are 4 more. So after taking initiatives, the second responsibility, he says, is effective use of resources. Effective use of resources. So when you start a project, when you're a manager, you'll be definitely given some budgets, okay, and maybe some manpower, and saying that this is the department and handle it. And maybe you are heading a sales in a particular region, and you're told, now take this particular office you have, this particular budgets you have, this many people you have. Now there are 2 kind of managers. They say, itna enough nahi hai. But Chanakya, optimum utilization of resources. जो है उससे शुरुआत करो. And every organization will have constraints of people and resources. Not only government organization that we are all part of, but at the same time, we see there are resource crunch in even multinational companies. And one of my friends always says, if you want to know what is the debate and discussions in resources, please understand the discussions happening between the finance department and the marketing department. A very interesting debate. Every country, every company will have this. So the marketing guys will tell, "Arey paisa kamane ke liye thoda budget to do," and the finance department will say, "Arey paisa kamao, fir budget badhao." So it's a chicken and egg situation. But a leader understands one thing, that it doesn't matter मेरे पास कितना budget है और कैसे लोग हैं, इनको कैसे इस्तेमाल करना. That is also a manager's thinking. So limited resources start, and once it builds in, you can ask for more and more. So there is nothing called as perfect plan or perfect manpower or perfect budgets. You have to understand with the limited resource you have to start working. So first quality is start working. Second is optimum utilization of resources. The third is very interesting. It is called provision against failures. Very important. Okay, provision against failures. We should have plan A, plan B, plan C. And Chanakya would go to the extent of having plan XYZ also. So think through everything. Other important thing, apart from provision against failure, is having an understanding of right time and place. Okay, please understand this. The right sense of timing and the right placement is also very important. So for example, if you look at, today, a lot of management people go into the field of, let's say, Hollywood and Bollywood also. So let's say you go into Bollywood, you work with a production house and entertainment company. If you are, let's say, doing a product launch of a movie, so movie is going to get released. Okay, now you have to understand the science behind the right timing and the right place to launch the movie. Your movie may be great. Okay, so you may have an Amitabh Bachchan star cast and maybe a great director, and the script is also good. But if you release the movie at the wrong time and at the wrong place, the movie is 100% a flop. For example, if you want to release a children's movie, okay, now the children will never go to a movie during exam times. So you have to make sure that you release the movie when it is child friendly, because that's your target audience after exams, etc. So if you look at, there are some movies which are dependent on stars. So, like if you look at, there are some holidays like Diwali, Eid, and, Holi, those weekends, they're very, very packed. So a lot of movie stations is the right time, because the weekends people will come to the mall. Okay. So now the right timing is very important. So if you look at even FMCG sectors, they look at, this product will do well in this particular time. And depending on the dynamism of the situations also, you can change the right time and place. For example, now, because COVID problem and corona problem, you must have seen lot of theaters are not working. No theaters are working, but the entertainment consumption online has consumed a lot. So while all the movies are flopping, you'd be surprised, there was a web series called Special Ops with Neeraj Pandey that actually sold very well. And I'll give you an example. Before the corona problem, there was a movie which got a theatrical release, and that is called English. I think that Irfan Khan's last movie, English Medium. I hope you heard about that movie. It was a theatrical release, but interestingly, it did not do well. But what happened after coronavirus? I think they had a tie-up with Hotstar. Hotstar started advertising so much that English Medium actually did very well on the online platforms. So look at the placement. Okay, one product which was theoretical release, when the timing changed, it became a super successful box office hit in the online platform. So my dear friends, it is also the right timing and place. So if you look at today, all the businesses are looking at online strategies, because it's like, free to air, or maybe less cost, affordable cost, but you can. So I think strategically today the place and time has gone through a change, and we, as new generation managers, digital is the way forward. And please remember, digital is the way forward doesn't mean the physical will be over forever. Physical will exist, and digital is the route to scale up. I'll repeat, you Zoom have to the class and attend, because the teacher and the student connect. The connect with your friends, being there in that institution cannot be replaced by online. So yes, there are, as Kavita ma'am said, so much online. We're waiting when can I see my friends and family and teachers, of course. So friends, the next is right timing and place. Think strategically. Is it the right time, the right place, or change your strategy as required? Okay, and now comes the fourth point, results, achievement. Sorry, the fifth point, that is achievement of results. If you are a manager, you start something, right? You had a plan and everything. You had optimum utilization of resources. You had a backup plan. You had the right time and place. But the fifth point is that did you achieve the results? नहीं तो शुरू कुछ किया था, and then in the journey you forgot what you started for. So what you promised you should. Okay, don't blame the situation, don't blame the the ecosystem or the challenges, but the reality is that if you know how to strategically plan in the right management mindset, okay, you will achieve the results also. So start, plan properly, resources should be utilized properly, have the right understanding of place and time. Then of course you should also know the things that can go wrong, the backup plans, and finally results is what matters. And in the corporate world say, I want delivery, I want results. Now the path you can choose, you can change your plans as required depending on the situation, but finally you'll be known for delivery of results. So let me sum it up before I take up questions. So we talked about two things. Number one is the leadership qualities. Second is managerial qualities. They coexist. Okay, they coexist. Leader can be a great manager. A manager can be a great leader. But there are two different ways of looking at things. Leaders is about long term. It's about inspiration. It's about root cause analysis, anvikshiki. It's about vriddha sanyoga, continuous learning, getting mentored by others. Management is actually taking up that particular task and project and delivering the results. So if you are a project, and once you get many projects successful, slowly become a leader. The last lesson that I will talk about before I wind up and take up questions is about Chanakya's life story. All these qualities that I'm talking about, Chanakya practiced in his own life. How come? I'll tell you. So number one, he was a thought leader. Maybe he was not the king himself, but academicians, teachers, and researchers like us, scholars like us, are also leaders in our space. Okay, so Chanakya was a thought leader, and he said, "I have a vision of a country called Bharat. Okay, I will create it." And that time the leaders did not have that vision, but he slowly changed the leadership only. He bought Chandragupta Maurya. When Dhananand, the king of the Nanda dynasty, wasn't delivering, he replaced the king with a better leader. Not only that, he also defeated Alexander, who was on his march to conquer the world. People could not defeat him, but Chanakya defeated him through strategic planning. The other thing that he used for practical leadership and management is a theory called Samadhana Danda Bheda. Some of you must know this. He also used his enemies and friends to defeat his challenges, overcome his challenges. And he had another theory called as Dushman ka Dushman Dost. Use your enemy's enemy who can be your friend. Friends, all that I've spoken about, Chanakya's wrote in theories, but it is there in Chanakya's own life. He was a thought leader. He created leaders. As they say, a leader is the one who creates a lot of leaders. At the same time, he managed the country well. He had a theory framework to it. I have one request to everyone. Please read the Kautilya's Arthashastra. Make it a part of your project or take up some assignment around it. I'll be happy, Kavita ma'am, to guide the students wherever you're required. But the whole idea is that we had our own ancient models of leadership and management. Our country is so rich that we have a lot of knowledge management systems. We should look into the past. But let me also tell you, let us not get stuck in the past, because that's another problem. A country like ours, which has got a great civilization and a knowledge culture, should not just talk about the glory of the past. The responsibility of every generation is to take the work of the past forward, not get into reverse gear. So friends, as all people in the field of leadership and management, my request is be proud about the Indian glory, but make India more proud than what you found. Swami Chinmayananji said it very nicely. Every generation has got two responsibilities. Every generation has got two responsibilities. Number one, carry forward what is best. Yeah? Hello? Can I speak?
Please continue.
Yeah, okay. There was some disturbance. I thought, for me. Okay. So every generation has got two responsibilities. One is to carry forward what was good of the past. So, you know, there is so many things about our culture, tradition that is good. We should continue it. Continue what is good of the past. Discontinue not relevant. This is also very important because sometimes past things also become very orthodox and people get very rigid. So every generation's leader should respect the past, his culture or her culture, and carry forward. But also think through that what has become a dogma, something that has become very, very rigid, that you should discontinue. Management is about constant change and evolution. So Chanakya comes in that space, my dear friends, where we have a glorious past. But all of you should be today's modern day Chanakyas. You should think strategically, apply these leadership and management principles, and carry the work of India forward. Let me wind up by telling you, you have a golden opportunity to change the history of India and maybe make it better than the past. You're all going to be global leaders. We're already in a situation where, 2020, we are almost looking like a developed country. With the challenge that we have in hand, we also have an opportunity to prove that the world requires India's leaders and managers. We already are leading, Googles and Microsofts and IBMs. It's your generation. It's our time. अपना time आएगा नहीं, अपना time आ गया है. But timing को use करना अभी चाणक्य है. So make sure that we use it in our stride. This is our opportunity. It's our time. It is Chanakya's time to go into the future. Thank you so much.
Rajendra, if you want to unmute and ask a question, please.
Yeah.
Yeah, sir. The session was very insightful. I have one question. In current situation, how better or effectively could be government leadership in managing lockdown and migrant and poor people issues?
Okay. So let me first of all empathize with the government leaders. Okay, not sympathize with them because they are in the power position. They can do a lot of things. But let me tell you empathetically, this is the first time any government in the world is facing such a problem. It is not India's problem. It is not Maharashtra's problem. It's a global problem. Nobody knows actually where this is going to go. Okay. So they tried the first method of lockdown, but they realized that's another challenge, because lockdown is a challenge of life versus livelihood. Okay. So being in India, I think we are knowing this problem, but I'll tell you, if you study what's happening globally, it's worse. I just give you the example of Brazil. Actually, there are governments resigning. People are pressurizing them to resign, and it's not easy. So now looking at our country, I think we are not good, but we are not bad either. So I think there are some positives to begin with that, at least the government is being proactive and trying to control situations. Now coming back to what the government should do empathetically, okay, so I can understand what they're doing. They have to break down the problem into smaller units. Okay, so they can't look at it as one problem. Coronavirus has impacted everything in our particular society. Okay, for example, it's directly affected lives, so we are losing lives. Okay, secondly, it's impacted economics, but do you know it's also impacting mental health? Yeah, it is impacting the social sector. It is impacting the way technology would look at it. So I think it's to break down this problem into smaller problems and handle it one at a time. Yes, currently the first priority right now is actually to find a vaccine. I think already the governments are doing that, and I think the clinical trials are going on, the human trials are going on. That is the right thing. The second thing is economic, and I think as a country like India, that is where the whole challenge is. I think as a nation, I'm not an economist. I'm not a person who will tell you what to do from the economic angle, but I will tell you the suggestions is that one of the key things is people should feel secured as far as money is concerned. People should feel very secure. And if I have to take it one point agenda, people should have cash flows or liquidity in their bank accounts. So as an individual, agar mere paas घर पे पैसा आता है, मेरे bank account में आता है, so it's a great feeling that I can spend on my own. Today people are losing salaries and jobs. Then it's a very dangerous problem because I don't have the security. And not having security actually leads to a lot of other social problems also. So I think one of the greatest things that have been discussed is about how to handle the economy. Chanakya has got a solution for that. He says about artha eva pradhanaha. Okay, artha eva pradhana. If you get the economy right, everything will be right. Because finally people understand the language of economics and money very easily, right? From a common man to the king. So how do we tackle economy? Chanakya says if there is no activity, if there is no economic activity, think about alternative economic activity. Very, very important. Okay. So if one like manufacturing industry has got affected, this can we look at alternatives? So the government has to focus on economic activities in one way or the other. You have to keep the machinery rolling. At a very policy taking level, if you read the pink papers, the Mint and the Financial Times and Economic Times, one of the challenges, probably not easy, but one of the challenges that they are saying that we can handle this, one of the solutions is that can we look at printing more notes? So can we RBI go and say, let's, print more notes and put it into the hands of everyone, just sabke haath mein 1 lakh rupiya de do. Yeah, if you use some techniques to, actually people require cash in hand, especially the migrants and the below poverty line people. But that's got the flip side also, that is, will it actually cause inflation? Will it cause inflation? So you don't know. But I will give you what Chanakya says. The first solution is that look at it not as one problem, even at the macro level it's one problem, but tackle it multiple levels. Health-wise, done. Maybe education-wise, we are doing our own little bit of, making it online. So that's splitting the problem in a different way. So every segment should be handled separately. As far as economy is concerned, okay, that's very, very important. Handle it very primarily because people require cash. But now here is a very interesting solution which Chanakya says, never take a decision alone. Take the advice of experts and also the common man. And in a democracy, I think it's very easy. In the Mahabharata, and also Chanakya says that whenever there is a war situation or a war-like situation, we are actually facing a war-like situation. We are not fighting against somebody, but everybody is in a war against this nice little coronavirus. So in a war-like situation, call everybody together. Okay, even in an urgent matter, call everybody together. Ask the experts and the opinion of the people. Afterwards, go and discuss with your family members, maybe the Raja Patni or the Raja Purohit, and then take a decision. Okay, so the decision has to be collaborative after taking the inputs of everybody. And when it comes to economy, okay, it's very, very important. In the Mahabharata, it is told that if a king has a cabinet of 18 advisors, just giving a number, 14 of them should be business community. Why is that? Because he says it is finally the business community which will tell us how to run the economy. And this is Mahabharata. Raja ke advisors mein businessmen bhi hote hain, because they are the one who are actually creating wealth and paying taxes. Government actually has its revenue from the taxes through the wealth creators. So 14 out of 18 advisors to the king or the leaders, the political leaders, have to be businessmen. Unfortunately, today the businessmen have to follow what the government policies is, rather than giving inputs to the government to decide what the economic policy should be. Again, as I told, it's not really easy. But let me also tell you the principle which Chanakya says. Raja ko vyapar samajhna chahiye, lekin vyapari nahi banna chahiye. Very, very important principle. A king should understand business, but should not become a businessman, because otherwise leaders will become dealers. Leaders will become dealers. So summing up this whole thing, what we need to do is that look at this big problem. The government should look at the big problem into parts and look at solutions of every part. Second wise, economically, you have to collaborate with everyone. This is the time the government should support the business community, and the business community should also support. I think this will be the greatest partnership ever, that if we really implement it, it is called the political and the industry partnership. Okay, if you can actually look at it, so the political and industry partnership, call them together, say that what do you think, what do you think? You don't have to apply every particular idea or implement every particular idea that the business community says, but business community is the one who will finally apply it, isn't it? So better take the ideas. So if you can be a great listener, if the government guys can be a great listener, then at least we will find out some solutions, if not solve the problem completely. So the whole idea is that listen more, especially to the experts of that particular field. They will give you the solution and a leader has to apply it. Thank you, sir. Rajendra.
So the next question is from Jasmine. Jasmine, if you can unmute and ask your question.
Yeah, Jasmine.
So, sir, what is one common mistake that you see leaders making very often?
It is a common mistake across generation, across all countries, including today. Okay. And it is saying that I am the only perfect person. Okay. So what probably Narayan Murthy once put it, the greatest challenge that the leader will have is his own ego. And Chanakya tells us, if you have the understanding that I have taken a decision, what we call as, it's like, mera. So the ego part of it always is the biggest challenge for leadership. I'm not telling that you should not have self-respect. Okay, there's a big difference between dignity, self-respect, and ego. The biggest thing that leader, if he or she or even a group of leaders say that I am the one who takes a decision, and I will the only one who will take a decision, then there is a problem that we find that can percolate to the whole organization or for the whole country. In fact, Chanakya tells it strategically. Please take a decision. That's your right and responsibility because you are a leader. लेकिन हिंदी में अगर कहें तो बोला सुनो सबका फिर करो अपना. Okay, सुनो सबका फिर करो अपना. In fact, in corporate Chanakya, I've written, listen to everybody and then take a decision. But the strategy says, first take a decision, okay, listen to everybody. If required, improve the decision and then tell it to everyone. So the leader is the one who knows this is the decision to be taken, but he will involve everybody. He will make sure as if everybody is listening to him. Okay. So everybody becomes participative and then finally take a decision. So I'm not telling you don't take a decision. Take a decision, but after being participative. So the mistakes people make is they all do I, me, myself. If it is participative, it's a good decision and the right decision. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
There's a question from Neela, very interesting. Neela, could you unmute and ask your question?
Yeah, Neela.
Yeah. Hi, so thank you for this insightful session, honestly. And I really feel the educational system should start with Chanakya Niti from the base. Probably then things would change. My question is two things. One was you spoke about the population and statistical count. Where do you see now China, though it is more than population if you compare it with India, but they're still way ahead as far as technology or anything is concerned. Where does India lack? That is the first question that I had. And the second question was, so what similarity do you find between Mahatma Gandhi and Chanakya's? Is there a similarity between both of them? The way Gandhi and Chanakya had put through the Bharat vision.
Thank you so much. I love both the questions because the first question is India versus China. Okay. First, even if you consider China as an enemy country because we had some wars with them and all those things, Chanakya would say, learn from the enemy to make yourself better. Learn from the enemy. Okay? Never hate your enemy. It clouds your judgment. So let me tell you this, the advantage China has over India. And we as a country can turn it into an advantage India. So what is the advantage of China? See, if you look at it from a management angle, believe me, they're far ahead of us. Their efficiency, their productivity, the way look at things, you have to be in China to understand what their efficiency culture is. What we call as a work culture and work ethics. So one at the political level, they have going through, what you call maybe communist or a dictatorship model. I don't want to comment that. But as a country, it actually works on a mission mode. I have seen that, let's put into the Wuhan, a problem hua tha. Overnight, in 2 days, they can build a hospital. Think about that efficiency that they get in and say, okay, business processes is very fast. They understand what is managing scale. Okay. And let me tell you, I'm a very proud Indian. I'm a very, very proud Indian that's working on Chanakya and all these things. But I realized one thing, our work culture, maybe a few of us sitting over here are the one who are dedicated. But if you look at it, there is so much lethargy. See, you have to go into the tier 2 and the tier 3 cities to understand. See, I'm not blaming them, but the culture is like that. Haan, chalo, hota hai. I'll give you a simple example. When I was in China, I was actually part of a business delegation. I represented an industry body. It was the All India Plastic Manufacturers Association of India. You would be surprised. We can't even have a competitive advantage. I'm not even talking about pricing. Huh? So we have this funny feeling about China is that सस्ता माल China से आता है. अरे ऐसा नहीं है. आप 10 रुपया दोगे तो वो क्या आपको 200 रुपया का सामान देगा. आप 200 रुपया देख को तो देखो. Depending on your purchasing capacity, they'll give you the quality. Okay, so it is not that China का माल खराब है. America uses China का माल also. They want quality also. So coming back, when I realized when I was in China that they have a robust mechanism. It happened in the year 1991. Interestingly, it happened in India also in 1991. When the economy opened out, so 1991, China also decided to say, we want to be the manufacturing hub of the world. That's a policy decision of the government level. And continuously, they work hard, strive very hard to get it happen. So it's not going to be easy for everyone. So China had a policy. In our case, every 5 years we are changing the policy. A new leader comes in, he changes his policy. So there is something called as continuity of the vision. And not many people know that the current, our head of China, he's been given free hand by the government, is saying that तुमको 5 साल के बाद voting करके कोई जरूरत ही नहीं है, as long as you want. So think about the kind of a leadership that they have, that he's not worried about 5 साल के बाद मुझे vote bank में जाना है. So one thing is clarity, a vision. 1991 when they decided they'll be the manufacturing hub, they continue. The second thing is about efficiency and proficiency. I'll give you a simple example, and this is a real example, okay? So this was told me by an industry person in the apparel industry. So हम लोग कपड़े बहुत बनाते हैं in South में, there are a lot of garment industries. When China comes in, okay, they understand what is efficiency and time management. And he told me, like, let's say an European country gives 1 container of t-shirts. Just giving an example, okay, to understand. So the Chinese guy will say, okay, कितना India कितना 10 रुपए में एक t-shirt दे रहा है, चलो मैं 9 रुपए में दूंगा. That's okay. So that's a price negotiation. The second part, which Indians can't even think. So this guy in, let's say, sitting in Europe gives an order of 1 container, and then after all the price negotiation, कितना दिन में delivery करेगा? It's a simple thing, because he also has to sell and everything. China understands timing very much. So, one of the management techniques, right time and place. So China would say 15 days. Okay, so 15 days you will come, and then there is a season, Christmas season, we will deliver it and all those supply chain. And he delivers the order in 15 days. Then he's happy and said, okay, send me new containers. Now here comes the India-China model. This guy will call up that guy saying, okay, fine, I'm going to deliver 2 containers. Do you want it in 10 days? 10 days? Oh, I'm happy. Don't worry, it will be 9 rupees only. I don't want to proceed. They will actually think how to make it better. So now this friend will, what China would do? Think about this, management students over here. You know what they would do? This guy, actually, the apparent guy, realized there is a loss of time in transportation. Okay. So he decided that if I want to manufacture something, kapda banana hai and all those things, he realized that 5 days is about logistics. Is it true? You know what he did? He actually put the whole factory inside the ship. So the ship actually carried the whole factory. So there were 200 workers to make the whole thing. Istri maal ke tayar. So you are actually thinking about efficiency, not only in pricing. Kitna mein mila? That is only one discussion. I want to give it. And then say, okay, next time can I make it a better ship? Okay. So today agar 200 log hai, so maybe I can have a better ship with 400 people. This is what defines the difference between India and China. And let me also be a little bit, on the Chinese side. I've seen so many people working in China. Well, there is one problem in China because it's a communist country. We may not have a say and all those things. But you'll be surprised, the common man is very happy. Okay, because as long as, the efficiency is there. So coming back, what do we learn from China? That yes, there is a system which is called continuous improvement. We don't have that. We said, okay, somewhere that lethargic. So we managers have to look at the continuous improvement. In the Japanese theory, it's called the Kaizen theory. Okay? But Chanakya spoke about it. Maybe another session, when I come there, I'll talk about the efficiency model. How do you improve things from one generation to another, from one process to another? Different question. Now coming back to the other point about China, we have at this particular point, China has got a trust deficit, and that's advantage India. Please understand this. Because of the coronavirus problem, I don't know if it's a fact or no, I don't want to get into the debate. But what I'm saying is that there is a trust deficit. If we as an India are able to capitalize on that, okay, I will never say that China will be lost. It's not a game, but we will have an advantage over India. For that, one is the government policies, and second is our own work ethics. We need to sharpen our skills, get up, warm up ourselves, and here is a time. So I think what we learn from China is efficiency, productivity, and continuous improvement. In one line, the work culture. I hope it has some thoughts for you. Now coming to Gandhiji and Chanakya. In fact, I was responsible for getting a book out on this. So our previous Vice Chancellor, Dr. Rajan Medukar, released a book. It's called JECO Books released it. It's called Gandhi at 150. You can Google it. And I had a chapter on Chanakya and Gandhi. So it was released at the Mumbai University Convocation Center. Kavita Lagate ma'am, I remember it also. So in that I said, there are so many common things about Chanakya and Mahatma Gandhi. So let me give you those commonalities, a few of them. Number one, both of them were not in power, but they were more powerful than the people in power. Okay, so Chanakya was not a king; he was a kingmaker. Gandhiji never actually had a political position, neither a prime minister or a president. But finally, the remote control was in his hands. So everybody used to come and listen to him. Yeah, because he finally advised everyone. So, and he was a very clear thing that I don't want to get into the political part. Chanakya was very clear. Both of them are king makers rather than being kings. So if you look at who will be the prime minister, who will be the person who will be the chairperson of the drafting committee, Gandhiji had that clout, so did Chanakya. So they were king makers, not kings. The second thing which I really like, okay, about both of them put together is that they actually were global thought leaders. Yes, even though Chanakya lived in that generation, he had ideas coming from different parts of the world. So, for example, Alexander was a student of Aristotle, and they had a philosopher like Socrates, Plato, Aristotle. And Chanakya realized when Alexander is coming, he's going to come with the philosophy. So Chanakya was very updated about what's happening in the other part of the world, even though the communication may not be there and all those things. Same thing with Gandhiji. Gandhiji had a global thought process. Of course, he was educated in England. He worked in South Africa. So both of them said, if you want to make India, we should know what is world standards. That's very, very important. So both of them thought leaders, kingmakers, but they understood what is the world requirement of that generation. And the third point, okay, and which is probably my favorite, both of them believed in documentation. Okay, that's very important. They may be very successful, but somewhere they knew that I have to write down my experiences, my ideas, my thoughts. Both of them wrote books. Is it? My experiments with truths and all the letters of Mahatma Gandhi, they are all documents. If you go to the Mani Bhavan in Bombay, there's a center, and it's a research center doing PhD on Mahatma Gandhi, okay, and his philosophy, and across the world. A lot of thought leaders across the world, political leaders, follow his philosophy and things like that. And you'd be surprised if Gandhiji had not written, we wouldn't have actually understood Gandhiji's philosophy. So there are thousands of books written on Gandhiji. There are thousands of literature written by Gandhiji. Same thing with Chanakya. He realized I may be gone, but I have to write the Kautilya Arthashastra in Chanakya Niti. So many commonalities. They believed in different way of thinking. They were thought leaders, and both of them contributed to. So did Chanakya.
Right, sir. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Hello.
So we have, I think, two more questions. One is from Harsh. Harsh, can you unmute and ask the question, please? Yes, Harsh. Sir, I'll ask the question what Harsh asked. He said, should one go for masters in management abroad? And in the current scenario, can the government remove taxes for 3 to 6 months so that the cash is transferred to the hands of the people and the economy starts up?
Yeah. I think let me address the second question first. Okay, should the government look at this thing for the next 3 to 6 months? The answer is yes. I'll try and answer. You can hear me, right? Okay. So I just tell you that it all depends on what is your purpose of doing an MBA abroad. Okay. So it's a funny notion that that in India we don't have good management courses, or maybe some benefits of doing abroad because they have a great research culture. Okay. So they have a great research. Try to go there and understand that there is a good research culture much ahead of us. In many institutions also we have research culture. So it depends on your purpose. Second, I would say it also depends on the field, okay, that you have chosen to make it your career. For example, let's say if you're in the automobile industry, okay. Audible? I think I can continue.
So just a small.
I can continue, right, Neil?
Yes, sir. You. Hello.
So it also depends on a field, okay. So it also depends on a field. Continue, Karo.
Sir. Yeah.
If you are part of the automobile industry, okay, I would suggest that you go to Germany and do your MBA, because Germany also has a culture of the automobile industry. They bring out the best brands, their engineering process, the way they bring out the whole systems in the automobile field. Okay. So if you want to do a management course in automobile industry, I would say it's better to do it somewhere else, because all of us would be generally following that. So my whole suggestion to this particular question is that keep your minds open. Okay. Understand what's your purpose of doing management. At the same time, don't think that our management systems are bad. Of course, we are also improving and we can have a lot of scope of getting into world standards. We need to improve on our research culture and all those things, but definitely India is also a case for doing an MBA with a good institution, and you're already part of JBIMS, so nothing wrong in that. Thank you so much.
Sir, I have one question.
Yeah, please.
Lately, Chanakya has been given a little bit negative connote also in the political scenario. And whenever you use saying, they'll use the connote saying Chanakya is in making, or Chanakya ye kar raha hai. So there's a negative connote. What do you think about that?
Saying that Chanakya is assumed as a negative character?
Correct. So whenever we use a connote saying this political person is speaking the Chanakya for his benefit or etc. So very loosely used for one of the most prominent character right now. So
absolutely. So it's considered as a very negative character.
Correct.
And so let me tell you, these are perceptions. Okay, there is a difference between perceptions and realities, because the image that you have about Chanakya is a very shrewd guy, and Samadhana Danda Veda is all considered as strategies against somebody, all those things, right? So many people also say that Chanakya is like a manipulator, isn't it true? So let me tell you, my dear friends, please read Chanakya. You can also start by reading my books. Start realizing that we only know one part of Chanakya, which is like enemy is a friend, and getting the results come what may. But the reality is that he was a teacher first, okay, and a selfless teacher. He was not a selfish teacher. So when you study, you start seeing so many dimensions. Unfortunately, he was in the political space, and in politics, sab log seedha nahi hote, sab tede hote hain, So that is why when you have to deal with crooks, you will have to understand you also have to be smarter than the crooks. Not that every politician is a crook. Let me not get into that. What I'm saying is that there is a power game in politics. So sometimes you look at what is happening in Maharashtra also. So if you look at it, what generally happens is that it becomes a power game. And Chanakya understood power. So if you know how to deal with me, I know how to deal with you better. So he was a very practical philosopher. So sometimes it is perceived that he was a manipulator, but the reality is that he was a practical philosopher, and most important, he was a great Desh Bhakta, a patriot. So let us look at the positive sides of Chanakya, and please read his books so that you can have your own conclusion about Chanakya. I have concluded that he was a great leadership and management teacher and a scholar. You have your own conclusions, but please read it, have an understanding on your own. But research should be the first base to understand him and conclude about him. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir. I'll just ask Dr. Kavita Lagate if she has any words.
Word of thanks. Thank you, Kavita ma'am.
We thank you. Thank you so much for spending so much time with all of us. And it was really very nice to know about the leadership qualities, 5 best leadership qualities that you spoke about.
Right.
I think all of them they have in their course or in their program talking about all these things in bits and pieces. But when it came from you, I think it was very authoritative. And that is because of your research and your dwelling into it for so long and always talking about it. It was very nice. And second thing is what you spoke about the strategic thinking and connecting it to not only Chanakya but also Gita, which is way of life for all of us who are in this part of the world.
Yeah.
I think everything becomes very philosophical when you think about it, when you try and find out why this and why not that. In that case, that faculty of ours which talks about Anveshan, you spoke at length on Anveshan and Anvekshiki. I think there lies the success story, and once you go into it, it's not fluke any time. It's all rehearsed or reals. we can see that people spend lives together to understand and to get things. And I think it comes from that Anvekshan and Anvekshiki, which you get, which you collect from your seniors, which your the colleagues give you. So it's not about only you as a leader. It has to be a environment that needs to be created, which helps you in creating your vision in reality. And I am sure all of our students who are having the same willingness of Vijigishu Vritti, कि मला जिंकायचं, I want to win, and to win over what? Not petty things. You have to win over yourself, and you have to understand what does that win means. So I think it was a very thought-provoking 55 minutes, though the technology had tried our patience. But I think all of us were glued to our seats because you were speaking. Thank you, Dr. Pillai, for taking time out. And I'm
Thank you,
sure
madam.
this has really given us a thought for keeping for next few months maybe. And as you advised, let us all try and see what the Chanakya really is, find out the way he talked about the Sankhya, and think about it in a calm and quiet state of mind, and then connect it to the people. And I think nation, people, society at large needs all these things. Sir, thank you so much for being with us and enlightening us on this topic. I think we will have you once again when the time permits, and we can have you in person as we open up, and you can meet them all in person. So thank
Yeah.
you very much. Thank you very much.
All right.
Thank you, ma'am. Looking forward to see you all in person. Thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you so much, Dr. Radhakrishnan Pillai, for joining us in such a short notice and sharing your insights with us. Thank you so much, Dr. Kavita Lagate, for joining us and gracing this occasion. It was such a delight to see you all after such a long time. This reminds me of one of the quotes from Chanakya, which says, "Fragrance of flowers spreads in direction of wind, but the goodness of a person spreads in all direction." And the goodness is in Guru, and both of you shared your knowledge, your wisdom with us in such a small, brief time. We wish you the best, sir, and we hope to see more bestsellers from you in near future and learn from you about efficiency if time permit and you permit soon.
100%, always available for my institution. I believe that, Kavita ma'am has been my mentor. She has helped me so much. So I think it's very important that we collaborate, work on some projects together, and hopefully see all of you in person very soon. Thank you, Kavita ma'am. Thank you, Neil, for all this coordination.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Thanks,
Good
Neil,
night.
for arranging this. Thank you.
Thank you.
And all
Thank
of
you.
you, take care of yourself. And let's hope that we will all meet in near future and things will be fine and normal. And let's make it normal.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Good night. Good night.
Thank you so much.